Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble. I'm on Twitter also, Twitter X, Twitter, whatever they want to call it. And extra support on Patreon, PayPal and other means there are on the description. So not much happening, but I got here start with some funny stuff here. A lot of Activision stuff went to Steam. Now they are available Steam. In this case, Overwatch 2. It has been flooded with mostly negative reviews. The game was butchered all over the place. With I never played Overwatch, but from what I understood, the Overwatch 1 was very good for multiplayer stuff there, PvPs and everything, arenas and all that jazz, and was I think basically free. But now they introduced a lot of stuff with Overwatch 2. Supposedly there were some PvE, so like solo content that was scraped after the game was launched. They said, no, we are not now going to do anything. I think you had to pay the game, or it's now free to play, but before you had to pay the game. A lot of mess here. I didn't follow up too much on this, but I know it's been a mess regarding Overwatch 2 and basically almost every Activision game since the last few years. Even Call of Duty stuff, I heard here and there some rumbles that is not good. It's all the same thing here, but I'm pretty honest, I don't follow too much. I stopped playing Hearthstone, so at the time I was doing like Hearthstone and I stopped playing it. It was too much for a free-to-play game to try to catch up with everything that they were launching, like the expansion stuff. It will start like one expansion per year, I think, then start ramping up for every 6 months they do a new expansion. It was kind of okay at the time, trying to grind up all the collection cards and the dust and everything, how it worked. Then it start like every 3 months or so, then it start being impossible unless you want to spend money and continue to play the game, which is it's a shame. And now here, putting this story to its rest. Now, if you buy, from what I understood, when you buy any 40 GPU series from NVidia, they will offer you Overwatch 2 Invasion, which I think it's a DLC that is coming out. Nobody is playing this. I don't know why people are NVIDIA is giving this, but this is very poor compared to what at least AMD is doing, or been doing at least in the last year, starting with the Resident Evil, the Star Wars Jedi Survivor, now with Starfield. Even with lower end, they give you either GPUs or CPU, but NVIDIA doesn't make CPUs. But even with GPUs, even the base game, example for the Starfield, even like 6800 XTs and above, I think. I'm not sure 67s were also with the Premier Edition of Starfield, but they've been doing a better job, even though they're still. But I have to assume there is no like definitive proof to say that there is like something that developers have to sign, that basically there is basically not being launched these games with sponsorship per se with AMD, that they are basically don't support DLSS. For me personally, I don't intend to use any upscaling. At least with high-end GPUs, I don't see the purpose to a certain degree with using DLSS or any upscaling technology for that case. But in terms of consumer overall, it's not a good move. If the technologies are available, and if you integrate one, it's easier to integrate the other two. I don't see why not. These games are not being launched with everything in terms of supporting the upscaling technology. But yeah. It's not, especially with Overwatch 2, from what I've been seeing here and there, I'm not following up very much like PvP stuff or like multiplayer stuff. I usually don't follow too much. It's not been a good game, and the fact that people were not playing in through Activision, a dedicated app. They just bring it out to Steam to try to see if the people pay and play for what's supposed to be a free-to-play game. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a shame. In other news, yesterday I follow up with some previews from Lords of Fallen, from Extra Life, and also from Ziostorm. Seems pretty good. And then here from WCCF Tech we got like a follow-up interview, Q&A kind of stuff here, when they talk about a little bit of everything. I got some highlights here. I will leave of course the article, the link of the article in the description. But something that I've forgotten, that there was some kind of two other studios tried to work on before it went to Xworks, but the fact that they basically, when Xworks pick up the project, basically what they did was trying to get an overall feeling of the feedback that the first game went through, what people would like to see more, or some stuff that were not good, was not good for the game, and they tried to basically begin from scratch, even though it was maintain kind of the lore stuff to a certain point, because it's like a soft reboot, because it's 1000 years after the events of the original one. So basically the stories, the story concepts and everything, and some stuff from the lore, like the Orient Church. I don't remember very well the story of the first Lords of Fall, even though I played like 1 or 2 times. I remember Adir, this name, which is the god that you were trying to overthrow to a certain point, to a certain degree on the first game. But yeah, those things are maintained to a certain degree. There are the Dark Crusaders from the Orient Church, where I think is basically the setting for this game, which is basically a new god arises, and these are, I think, the followers, from what I understood, and they are trying to stop the fact that Adir is coming back. So the other god wants to impede the other to rise up again. And from what I understood from all of this, it seems that because they are very zealots, as a religious orders usually in these kind of settings, they are. There are things they can do, they consider heretic, they can do because they want to stop the returning of this god and everything. One of the items that is considered heretical, even it's supposedly forsaken and forbidden even to talk about, the Umbral lamp, which is one of the things that you use on the game to travel between Umbral and Axiom World, I think it's called. One of them decides to use the lamp. I suppose that it's us as a player, and basically they are not very happy, and basically it's the setup for them to try to kill you, because from the, I don't know, from the plot point, I suppose that Umberland will uncover some stuff on the story of the game that you supposedly should know, but yeah, it's speculation. But okay, it's some plot points here that are being set up here, and I hope the story is at least serviceable, because I think the main attraction here is the combat, and maybe having some lore and overall like feeling of the game can have like a serviceable like story here. The people that played noticed that the more radiance level, so basically I think it's kind of intelligence equivalent. I think you have more access to information, but basically it's only for that. The fact that you're just buffing up, it will not take advantage of the fact that you know a little bit more. You can like use more the power. I think they try to just for like lore purposes to a certain degree. If you're working up for I don't know, a class that uses radiance as a combat style, you have the bonus per se of getting more insight on items and tools. It will not take advantage of that unless I suppose you're just building a class for that uses radiance level as combat expertise, I think. So there is several ways to go about the game. This is a little bit of like co-op and everything. I will not be usually I'm not too much on this kind of things. Suppose we have 3 endings, there is like one canon path, even though you can go about it. The other paths there to unlock usually classes and new abilities that come with that, and of course equipment like armor sets and weapons. From what I understood, you have to follow like some certain quest lines to get those endings to unlock those classes, but I suppose that people will play through the like what is supposedly be the most easiest way to get to the ending, and then in New Game Plus try to figure out new ways to unlock those classes and armors and their armor sets and their weapons also. Seems pretty decent. There is something on New Game Plus that there is like the vestiges, I suppose it's like the equivalent of bonfires. Supposedly you can unlock several ones in your first playthrough, but then in the second one, if I understood right, I think you have to make your own, or you only can have like one. And to create one you have to use some resources, so it's kind of a balancing thing here. And of course the enemies will be for sure more difficult, and I suppose some variety and like different placement. It will be good to see that, so you don't kind of know everything. But yeah, it seems on a good path here, this game. Yeah, and of course the fact when you unlock the new class, you can start like a new game from scratch, and you have access to those classes and everything that you unlocked, so no need to worry about it. But yeah, some things for console performance stuff here, but it's not worth it. So the fact here, curious that they wanted to use a little bit the Unreal Engine 5, mainly because the Nanite seems that Nanite is pretty good because of it has like the field of view kind of a thing detail, so it maintains the same level of detail even if you zoom out, because usually with the textures how they work, you have like several different like textures resolution, so when you have like a game when you can zoom out, or you have like the distance, it seems more blocky always. With Nanite, basically you just introduce the more detailed textures that you want, and then basically that plugin, the Nanite, will handle automatically in terms of quality. When you zoom out or zoom in, it maintains the same quality, even though the resources are of course they are less demanding when you zoom out. It seems to maintain the same kind of level of detail, even though it balances out that kind of performance. And yesterday we got I was caught off guard. If I talked about this, I completely forgotten regarding the THQ Nordic kind of showcase here. I watched the thing, it's like half an hour. They have like a 15-minute pre-show. I skipped that because it was a little bit late at my time. I just watched it's like almost half an hour of the show. I will leave the link on the video of the showcase if you like. You just basically, the pre-show, it has like 15 minutes or 20 minutes before the show itself starts, so you can skip through that on YouTube. But we got some interesting news, especially Gothic Remake. I think I never played this game. This game is quite old. The original ones. It's got 3 games, the Gothic series. I think I never played this game, gaming series, even though I remember the fact that it exists here, and they are doing a remake here. It's got an interesting kind of trailer. I don't know if this was the old camp here, if it has something to do with the first game. I suppose it does, because there was like not a lot of like something that came out, at least from my knowledge, that shout out Gothic to me. But if people that played the first game, maybe they can recognize something here. I don't know, but yeah, seems that it does. Of course, I don't think any of them has like release dates. But yeah, yeah, this one doesn't have. Supposedly, maybe next year. With this kind of trailers, usually it's like we are basically 1 year to 1 year and a half until at least we have like a release date, or even like a year of the release. Sometimes they just like to try to hype up the projects, and they do this kind of trailers. Also, we got more information. A Last Train will launch this year. There is no specific day and month, but I suppose maybe end of the year. This is a very interesting one. I remember covering this one. It seems like a management kind of thing, but mainly the gist is it's after the Second World War, and you basically are tasked to driving everybody through I think it's the Siberia escape here, to driving your soldiers home. So basically it's managing the train, and of course you have to manage like resources, and for that you have to stop the train, like forage resources, and maybe combat, try to avoid ambushes from enemies. Then you can upgrade the train, also treat the wounded, do some quests here and there, that in some stoppage that you might do, trading and everything. Seems pretty good. It's one of those that I'm kind of curious to see how it goes, because usually you have like a village that you have to manage the resources, or you're just a solo player that have to manage everything and like a survival stuff, and here you have a little bit extra stuff here to do. It seems pretty good. Also, we got Titan Quest 2 announced. This is going to be, I suppose, a remake, not a remaster, because this is going to supposedly be like an open world, even though I remember playing Titan Quest 2. It's been a while, to say the least. And I remember it's like open areas of kind of sorts, so similar to like Diablo, kind of, at least the original one. It's an isometric, very action oriented, loot oriented. I've kind of enjoyed it. I remember liking the game, and basically you're a Spartan trying to go on a rampage and revenge kind of path here to avenge the fact that I think the gods at the time like just destroyed everything, and you're just on your way to kill the god, something like this. I think. I'm not sure, please don't quote me on that. Supposedly this is screenshots here. I think it's going to be very similar in that aspect. But yeah, it seems interesting, mainly because I played the game when it came out, this one at the time. But yeah, this is the trailer. It doesn't show any gameplay, it's more about a CGI trailer. But yeah, it seems pretty interesting. I will keep my eyes on it when yeah, it's on Steam. I will, of course, I will leave on a Steam page link if there is any on the games that I'm covering here. And finally, there was an announcement on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. It's a game announced, so they are announcing that they are developing now, so it's not something that they are going to like. The trailer was very short. There is nothing to speak of, not even the turtles. I think, I don't remember very well. I think it had some candles and everything, but yeah, I think this is supposed to be based on the comic book, the original ones. I think it's going to have like a more dark twist here and there. But yeah, they just started up the development of this game. It's good to see something more in tune with the origins of the IP itself, which was the I think it's Japanese, yeah, Japanese manga. I think it's I'm not sure if it was Japanese. No, it's not. Sorry, I don't think it is. It's a comic book, but it's a very dark one from what I understood. Never read them, but I know it's a very dark themes there. But of course we remember it's at least my generation is the cartoons, the Saturday morning cartoons, when there was no internet, and if you want to watch this, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and everything. But yeah, it will start, and of course there is no Steam page here, but it was announced every consoles and PC also. And I'm going to finish up here with some gaming news. My laptop is not working, really. My laptop is trying to reload the pages here. So Dredge here, 25% off. I'm just focusing more on indie games here. We have until the 17th of August for this one. I think it's a very pretty decent game here. We got also Stray again, 25% off until the 17th. We got also System Shock. It's still on promo until the 14th, 25% off, and it has a demo here, which is good. It's from what I read, it's an excellent remake of the original one. We got also the Long Dark again until the 17th, 25% off the Survival Edition, or the award-winning Survival one, but as a standalone product. I think the Long Dark here, it's the edition which has the story mode here. It's not that much, it's basically the same price, it's 50% off, so you can see that there is more content here. And I suppose this has all the things regarding Long Dark, including music here, OSTs, I think, yeah. And lastly we got here Journey. 50% off. I think it's more than an excellent deal here. $7 here. It's a very excellent experience if you're into this kind of games that don't have like dialogue or anything. Everything is told by visual and gameplay, and yeah, I think it's very good. I played on a console like a lot of years ago, like 2 years after launch, something like that, and on the consoles, PS3 if not mistaken. But yeah, basically that's it, guys. Not much happening, but some interesting stuff here. I will wrap up with my Go Get Fan for me to upgrade my PC to get better more content from my private clients and start doing some video stuff for them. And also in my free spare time, do the daily videos with better quality, doing some scripted content from some in-depth dives that I would like to talk about, resume my gameplay series, and possibly doing some live streams in the near future. And all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, Kunamy Master out.